It's not often that something new happens in a 110-year-old building, but that's what's happening, and we're going to give you a sneak peek. Welcome to the Scottish Rite of Freemasonry channel. I'm Maynard Edwards, 33rd degree, along with our museum curator, Miss Olivia Curcio. I got it right, didn't I? Mm-hmm. All right. Only took 300 tries. I finally got her name right. And we are in our new collections room. First of all, let's start at the beginning here. When you say collections, what are collections? So this is different than the archive.
Mm-hmm. So everything in here is part of our museum collection. So it's all the physical objects, the regalia, the coins, paintings, mugs, dishware, everything like that.
So stuff that's not paper, stuff that's not the ritual.
Exactly.
Okay. So those things are sealed away in our archive that the building was built around. Those are still away. But this is a fancy new space. Up until about 6 months ago, this space was the office where Brother Mark Dreisenstock worked on the journal. And now it is this, and this looks really cool. So tell us about this project and how long you've been working on this.
So start to finish, it was about a year, maybe a year and a half, so not too long. The idea kind of came about when we were doing some renovations to the basement, to the air conditioning unit specifically. They wanted one dedicated space for collections, and so they started raising money to build this space, which I think looks great. We have the rolling racks for all of the paintings.
And you can see those, and these are not, these look big and heavy, but they actually, they kind of move pretty easily.
And then behind us here, we have also rolling shelves that can compress and expand to create an aisle, so you can get down them, but also maximizing space.
This is a very modern space, so it's all climate controlled. All the stuff is safe in here, right? Where was all of this stuff before? Was it just spread all over the building wherever we could stash it?
Yeah, there were
Because there are a lot of little hidey holes in this place that people don't even know about.
Exactly, yeah. There's a lot of closets that we would keep, some of the boxes in. I stored a lot of it in my old office, and it got cramped very quickly. So I feel very lucky to have this very nice space to keep it all consolidated, somewhere that everything can be all at one time, so it's much easier to find things.
How do you organize all this? Because you're the person that has to figure out where to put this thing so we can find it if we need it.
Yeah, we have an online database that we use, and everything has a number in different categories, so each object gets its own unique catalog number, and then that all goes into the database, and that's how we sort it.
Where does this stuff come from? I mean, some of it was, I'm looking at some of their stuff here that has Grand Commander Cole's, not Grand Commander Cole, Grand Commander Cole's, John Henry. It's got his name on it. So these were gifts that were given to him that he brought here. Are people sending stuff? How do things get here? And are you actively looking for something?
So a lot of it is donations by Masons or relatives from Masons. A lot of it is also things from council members or grand commanders that when they leave office, if they don't want it anymore, it just gets kind of left here. And a lot of it just kind of has been here since the building has been here. So some things we don't even know.
Do you have like a favorite thing that you get to deal with in here? A favorite thing that you've come across? I mean, we all know the creepiest thing in the building is the Albert Pike death mask up in that. Yeah. That's the creepiest thing here. But is there something here that just kind of was like a wow to you?
Getting to, look at everything we have kind of comprehensively all at one time is definitely very helpful. And I think one thing that has kind of been exciting for me to put together in this room are the drawers that are full of all of the jewels, medals, pins, tie clips. There's some like Masonic earrings in our collection. So a lot of cool, very small things that I get to, organize in drawers and make sure that's all set up properly.
Like your house is like everything just so, or
no, actually,
when you're home, it's a disaster.
Yeah, okay. It's pretty much a disaster.
Nice.
So in here, we
wow.
have a lot of the different medals that are not on display right now. A lot of them are Blue Lodge. There's also some Scottish Rite in here as well.
So there's, this is a past Venerable Master, past Wise Master jewel. And so you've got somewhere all the provenance and all these things that we know where these came from, who they belong to, and all that kind of stuff?
For the most part.
The
A
most
lot
part.
of them makes my job a lot easier. They are engraved with the names of who owned them. So, like, for example, this one, is engraved with who it belonged to, when they were in office.
Now here's one. This is just a for instance, and I know this because I have a buddy who collects these. Currently during the biennial sessions, they're always issued a coin or a medallion, and those are issued often. But prior to the coins, when coins were not as in fashion or medallions were not as in fashion, they'd issue these medals or ribbons, and there are lots of these around. You can see this Sphinx on that particular jewel there it is reminiscent of the ones out front, and this says Washington D.C. on it. I think it says, let's say 1912. Is what that says? Supreme Council 33rd degree 19.
It says 131st year, so I think that would be 1931.
Good God, your eyes are better than mine. So
back here we have some cap storage. So they're all, like I said, numbered and labeled, and all of these numbers are in the catalog. So for example, I was looking for this cap and I didn't remember where it was. I could just look it up and see where it is.
Oh wow, that is a cool sash.
Flip through them. That one.
Well, that's a 14th degree sash, I guess, based on the jewel. This is such an awesome space, and we do have to thank all the donors and all the brothers who supported this project and who continue to support this project, because research is ongoing. I know, for instance, and maybe we can get a shot of this, there are some storage spaces above the temple room, believe it or not, where there are dozens of portraits, and we're not even sure who the portraits are of, and some of them could be significant, but they've been squirreled away. So that's ongoing. How does that process happen? Do you just say, all right, today we're working on this one, and then start hunting it down?
For the most part, yes. Actually, just the other day, I went up to the organ loft above the temple room to catalog all those paintings. Very difficult job. It was very hot up there since, it was the summer. But hopefully we can get those down, because it's really not properly temperature controlled up there. So eventually they will all be in here as well. And maybe we can, get some video of all that too eventually, because they're very old and very cool.
And things show you guys are constantly adding and subtracting from the things that are on active display up in our library spaces and around the building. And as for instance, down here in the basement, which few people get to see, I just noticed a portrait on the wall outside this room here. And I said, who is this? And we're not sure who it is. It looks like it's an SGIG, but it's not quite the right hat. He's got on the correct, the stole of an SGIG and the collar of an SGIG, but his hat looks like it's that of a Grand Cross. So it's like, when it's not says on the portrait, we've got the artist name, but, so someone will have to kind of track that down and figure out who that is. And then that gets cataloged and labeled. It's such an interesting process, and we thank you guys for supporting this. And I thank Olivia for all of her hard work on this, because without her and without the rest of our museum staff and the interns that help out here, and of course we have to mention Miss Larissa, Art Tahoyas, all the folks that make this happen, we wouldn't be able to catalog and preserve all of this stuff properly. Because for a lot of years, as Olivia mentioned, it wasn't stored properly. It was stuck in a corner, it was put in a closet, and the things that could be very important were at risk of being lost, but now they're safe and sound and being actively stored properly. So thank you for everything that you're doing. Olivia Curcio, thank you very much for showing us around and for all the hard work. Don't forget, you can still donate, and we'll put a link on the screen if you want to donate to this or any of the ongoing projects here at the House of the Temple. They always love if you help out. And we thank you for watching. Make sure you give us a thumbs up and subscribe, and we'll catch you next time.